Hi, you are so welcome to this channel once again. Today we're going to talk about feminism, but before we delve into that, if you're a returning subscriber, you are so welcome. We love you. And if you are new to this channel, oh God, you're going to have a blast in this channel. I get to share my life experiences about marriage, about courtship, singleton, sex, and anything in between. If you're someone who loves this kinds of content, please, you are welcome. Please have a seat and enjoy. Okay, so let's go into what we're coming to do today. We're going to talk about feminism. Feminism is a very sensitive topic, very sensitive, but I am going to do my best to explain to you what feminism is, and as Christian women, what we should do and what we should not do in terms of this feminism movement. When we talk about feminism, what does it mean? Feminism is all about gender having equal rights to what? To opportunities. Equal rights to opportunities, equal rights to work, to salaries, to, anything that you can think of, that women and men having that same opportunity to get into those things. What were the basic principles of feminism? Well, the basic principles were to promote sexual freedom, was to end sexual violence, was to working to increase equality between men and women, expanding the human choice, which is very important, and eliminating gender stratification. These are or were the 5 basic principles of feminism. But what do we have today? So many things going on that we don't even understand. Feminism did not start this way. Feminism started to help women, to help mothers cater for their children, have rights to their children, to support women after they are being widowed. And all these things were important to God, which are also what? Biblical. That was how feminism started. It wasn't about what we are seeing today. So if feminism was about helping women, helping mothers to cater for their children, giving them jobs, because as we know, around that era, it was mostly male dominated. The time of Paul, that those days it was all about male being dominant and all that. But later on, we had this feminism thing coming up to also support women. And we even remember that men did not allow women to preach or become pastors in church. They weren't allowed to lead men. But now it's different. That is because we had the biblical aspect of feminism coming up to fight for women. In that context, it was okay, it was good. What were some of the fight or the feminism movement in those days? When we go to Luke chapter 10 verses 38 to 42, we see that it was right for women to go into education. They had the right to go into education, right? Yeah. Also in Matthew chapter 9 verses 20 to 22, women had the right to go in for what? Medical care. Those were the feminism movement then, that women had the right to equal medical care, which was going on. And when we look at Galatians chapter 3 verses 36, that women also had the same rights, or seen as the same as what? As men. God created them male and female. There were or there are still no any differences about what he created. He created us and gave us equal rights, asked us to have dominion over the earth. God did not ask man to have dominion or woman. He said we should have dominion over the earth. We should get married. We should procreate, which are biblical. This feminism movement in this context is very biblical. They are very good and also neutral. But what are we having today? We are having serious feminism movements that are destroying the lives of Christians. For instance, abortion. Women have the right to abort. They have the right to their bodies. They can do whatever they want with it. They can abort. Abortion is sin. It's not good to take the life of another person, because you do not even give yourself your own life. But we have the feminism culture coming up to tell women that they have rights to their own bodies and they can do whatsoever they want with it. If they are pregnant, they can get rid of it without thinking that it is a sin. And most Christian women who call themselves Christians find themselves aborting and getting rid of pregnancies without the knowledge of their husbands. They are doing it without even caring about the consequences that it will have on the marriage or it will have on the marriage union. They are just doing what they like because feminism culture is taking everything about them, which is not good, which is a sin. Another part of the feminism culture which isn't right is that women believe that they are more valuable or more important than men. That is what they think. They are more valuable, they are more important. In fact, women should be seen as the best of among the human. I don't know where we had that from. I don't know where this feminism culture is leading women to. How are we better than men? How are we? They tell you that what men can do, women can do it even more better. But Christ created us the same, remember? Christ gave us the same strength, the same abilities, the same rights and opportunities. He kept them in that garden. They all had access to everything, except both of them did not have the access to the tree of life and death. But so why do we now come up today to say that we are more better than the male? That is something that is not biblical. And as a Christian, you shouldn't find yourself saying those things. You shouldn't find yourself fighting so hard at your workplace to get things because you feel that you are more better and you are more valuable than a man because you're a woman. No, it should not be like that. And the next thing that baffles my mind is that women do not need men. Really? I need a man. That's why I'm married. That's why I have a husband. I need a man in my life. What? How can you say you don't need a man? Like, what are you trying to say? You're going to work, take care of yourself, have a family. And now women who find themselves becoming baby mamas, they are running after the men because they can't do it alone. They've realized that it is a lie. You cannot be so independently that you don't need a man in your life. You want to just have your kids. You need a man to train that child. You need a man in your home. You need a man for you to submit to. You need a man who would love and respect you. You need a man to have values, certain values that you can never have it as a single woman. You can only have it when you are married. You need a man. So you find out that some Christian women they go to the extent of living independently and showing that lifestyle that they don't need a man. By 40, they are still single. 45 years, they are still single. Some even up to 50 years, they are still single because God do not do it like that. God created a man and created a woman and brought them together because God knew that they would need each other. But you came up alone to say you don't need a man. I don't need what God has created. I don't need what God has done. God has brought you together and you are saying that you don't need a man. So you find out that you are doing everything that a man was supposed to do for you. You're getting stressed up, you're getting old, and there's nobody still by your side. It is a lie and should not be accepted by Christian women. The next thing that is not biblical about feminism is that women should not submit. No. We don't need to submit. We are women and we are supposed to rise up there. A man should respect and tolerate us, but we are not supposed to submit. What? There is submission in every culture. There is submission in every organization. There is submission in every institution. Even in a family, there is submission. Your mother submits to your father submits to God, you the children submit to your parents, and even within the kids the younger one submits, and that there is submission in every culture in society. But they just lie to you that there's no submission in women to men. There is. So if you're a Christian and you really want to get married and have a peaceful home, put it in your mind that you will always submit to your husband. Not only to your husband, to the authorities where you work. You abide by the rules. You abide by the regulations and the principles of whatever institution that you are working in. So if you're working in an institution, you respect them. You make sure that you don't get sacked. And now you're married and you're saying that you will not submit to a man. It's the biggest lie. Like, it's wrong. I wanted to say it's the most foolish thing to do, the unwise thing to do, because you submit to organizations and you cannot submit to your husband. That is a lie from the pit of hell, and it's not biblical. The Bible entreats we women to submit to our husbands. Sorry, we should submit to them, and we should love them, and we should. Our bodies aren't ours; it's for our husbands. Our husband bodies aren't theirs; it is also for us, and that is how it goes, vice versa. But Christian women, so-called Christian women, find themselves in this feminism movement that is affecting their marriages, it's affecting their prayer life, it's affecting their Christian lives, and they still do not care. They still think they are being feminist. No, you are not being feminist. You're just being unwise as a woman. And the last thing is women staying away from maternity role. You just feel that I'm into career, I want to work hard, I want to get this, I want to get that, I don't even want to think about marriage, I don't want to have children, I want to get a car, get a house, I want to get everything before I think about marriage. Guess what? By the time you get everything, you'll be 40 years. And our biological clock keeps ticking as women. It keeps ticking. And the fact is that once you get to 40, childbearing becomes very difficult. And you cannot just afford to follow this feminism culture without understanding what it really means. Feminism did not start that way. No, it started by just helping women to achieve certain things in society. It wasn't to rub shoulders with men. But these days, women are becoming very highly competitive with men in all organizations. They want to also climb up the ladder and be this and be that. And it's so toxic. The working environment has become so toxic and bloody. It wasn't meant to be so. If you're a Christian, you can still fight for feminism in the right way, in a biblical context. Okay, a woman gets married to a man 5 years into the marriage, 10 years into the marriage, there is no improvement. There is nothing in the life of the woman. You have to fight for such a woman. You have to help. But aside that, you don't tell the woman to rub shoulders with the husband and start to compete and start to, fight about certain roles and rights. And it's not just supposed to be so. So I thank you so much. Whilst you're fighting for feminism, please do it biblically, and make sure you are in the right context with the Father, right context with what the Bible says. Do not go by what the world says. You will be lost. And at the end of the day, you will still lose certain goodies, certain wonderful things that God had for you. Thank you so much, and do have a wonderful day. Remember to subscribe. If you have questions or suggestions, please put it in the comment section. Bye.